Hello everyone, it's Benny, and welcome to the first live stream about developing my new game engine project, the Dare engine, or at least that's the code name. As you may know, the idea of this is to create a 2D game engine that's suitable for participating in Ludum Dare, and it's going to be open source so you all can use it for your games and do whatever. So, before we dive into things, I thought I'd just show you sort of a high-level overview of what on earth I'm planning to do with this. Just so, well, you have at least some idea of what my idea is with this. And even if I don't end up following this perfectly, at least it's nice to start with a plan. So the key thing I'm planning to do here is have a spatial tree, some form of spatial acceleration structure. And the key reason for this is scalability. Oh dear. Sorry about that. The key reason for this is scalability. If you have this spatial acceleration structure, you can do a lot of almost seemingly miraculous things with your engine performance. Like, for instance, you can do collision detection in possibly linear or linear-arithmetic time, depending on what you're doing. You can, depending on what structure you use, you can sort every object in your scene in linear time, not linear-arithmetic. We aren't talking quicksort speeds, we're talking linear time, which is truly ridiculous if you ask me. But yeah, point is, there's a whole bunch of really awesome things you can do if you have a nice spatial acceleration structure. So, that's the first thing. And pretty much the whole engine is going to be built around this because it allows you to do so many amazing things. So the physics engine's pretty much just going to be based on the spatial tree, because partially for the collision detection thing, and there's a few other benefits that I'll get into later. Rendering engine, also going to be based on the spatial acceleration tree because, well, again, it just allows you to do so many things. You can do frustum culling virtually instantaneously with this. So, yeah, again, there's just a lot of really cool things you can do with a spatial acceleration structure, and I think that'll be to quite some benefit in a game where you really don't have a lot of time to worry about making sure everything runs as fast as it possibly can. It's nice to have that sort of scalability back end, so to speak. But yeah, other than this, the overall picture looks a lot like the 3D game engine. There's going to be a scene graph that feeds everything into the spatial tree. Scene graph's going to be composed of entities all organized in sort of a tree structure. And all the entities are going to be composed of lists of various components which can do things that you program. Just to be perfectly clear, this part for the scene graph and the entities, that's going to be the game. This is going to be what you provide when you're developing your game. And all the rendering, spatial acceleration stuff, physics, that's all going to be part of the engine. This will be already made for you. So yeah, if you just have to worry about this part, that significantly cuts down on the workload. So yeah, I'm excited. That's my plan. And today, in case you're wondering, what I'm going to be doing, so I'm going to start off with getting some rendering working. Then I'm going to be getting the core engine, which is basically the glue that's going to allow all these key engine components to work together. And then I'm going to start working on the spatial tree because, well, as you can probably tell, it's going to be a really important part of this engine. So yeah, with that, unless anyone has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and just move this down onto my other workspace, just so it's out of the way. Unfortunately, GIMP is slightly slow with moving it around between workspaces, but oh well, it could be worse. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. So in case you're wondering, I'm basing this engine off of the game I made in Ludum Dare, the one that broke and had horrible bugs of death. Yeah, that one. So it's all going to be based on this, the thing that you can pick up objects, and if you drop them, you get a Stack Overflow. Or maybe not. Okay. It's sort of random, but yeah, trust me, if I kept it running, it would have Stack Overflowed. Anyways. So to start off with, I just want to get some basic rendering working. So, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Game. I'm just going to, actually, hang on, Main. Is Main how I want it to be? Because, yeah, I have a very sort of specific plan for how I want to start this out, just so, I can get something working as quickly as possible. So that's why I'm just trying to be a bit careful to make sure this is, exactly what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to get at with this. And yeah, the main looks okay for now. I'm probably going to change this later. But anyways, game, yeah, delete everything. Goodbye. To Well, not going to delete the methods, but I'm going to delete everything in them. But we can safely say goodbye to that big, ridiculous bug thing, because we don't have it anymore. It's gone. It's gone for good. Because we're not using that code anymore. So, for the game. Really, for now, I just want to use this to test out basic rendering things. So, for rendering, I'm going to go to render context. And, oh yeah. Lots and lots of code here. Test draw image. Okay, you can go away. Unfortunately, this does mean I need to do a little bit of code cleanup at the start, but hey, it's okay. Ooh, draw line. Actually, I'm going to leave you calmed down. You might come in handy later. Really, fill rect is the function I want for now. And draw image, I'm going to keep you around just because of clipping code and such. There. Really, the function I want right now is fill rect. That's all I care about. I just want something so we can see what our whole system is doing. So that's the point of this, just to draw something. And draw image. Oh, that reminds me, someone was kind enough to point out that I did something silly with this. I have image X start rather than image Y start. So thank you for pointing that out. I didn't notice that. Anyways. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to comment out draw image because I might, well, I'm going to about to use some of it almost immediately. But here's the thing, viewers. I'm going to be doing my rendering engine in sort of two stages. There's going to be a private backend function, which would be, whoops, no, not insert, wrong button. Something like this, the fill rect function, which can take in x, y, width, height. In fact, I'm not even sure if I might even change these parameters, but anyways. The point is there's going to be a backend function and sort of a front-end function. And the idea is the backend function right here is going to draw things as if clipping and such is already done. And the front-end function is going to do clipping. And the idea is I can use back-end functions to build more powerful rendering constructs without having to get a ton of overhead from all the clipping logic. And also allow some reuse of clipping code, so that's nice. So anyways, I'll call this fill rect internal. And this is going to take in fact, yeah, it is going to take in these parameters. All I have to do now, really, is just clip it and call the fill rect internal, and everything should be good. And this is where all this comes in. So, yeah, where are you? Oh, I almost forgot. My initial fill rect thing, the front-end function, so to speak, is going to take things in sort of normalized coordinates, where -1's the left of the screen, 1's the right of the screen, at least on X, -1's the bottom of the screen, 1's the top of the screen, so forth and so on. So yeah, as you can see, I've been doing a little bit of thinking about how I want to do this. But yeah, so I'll say float X start. Actually, I'll say float X center, float Y center, because that's a little bit nicer. And, actually that's a good point. Should I do it based on centers? Or, yeah, I think I am going to do it based on centers, because that seems just a little bit more intuitive. And, yeah, so centers, and then this is going to take in float width, float height. Okay, good. So I'll put this a new line. Yeah. Okay, good. All I have to do, clip it, and should be good to go. So I'm going to blatantly rip off all the clipping logic I have in thing. Not thing. The draw image function, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, just gonna copy this, because I have no good reason to do anything else, or you know what I mean. I don't have a good reason to, well, not reuse it. That's what I'm trying to go for. So, for the people who just joined, right now, I am trying to get a basic rendering function working. I'm getting clipping and such, so just basic front-end rendering, well, front and back end, I guess, but yeah, basic rendering stuff. Just getting something on the screen. Start, end, Y start. Okay, this looks good. I'm not going to have scale factor anymore, though. I'm just going to use straight up width and height. This logic for scale factor stuff is going to have to be implemented elsewhere. So yeah, times half width. And, oh, I did that slightly backwards. This is height, so yeah, I should be doing that. Other than that, though, that seems to be just about good. So yeah, I've... Okay, X start, half width, good. Half height, good. Now I'm going to change the internal function, so it takes an X start, Y start, and an int X end, int Y end. So these will be in, actual, what am I looking for? Actual screen space coordinates. There. So yeah, oops, sorry. Don't delete the whole function. Not what I'm trying to do. Anyways. So yeah, with that, I think I can just go ahead, put in everything in, and be good to go. And we can test this. We have our first bit of running code in the live stream. Isn't it exciting? Okay, maybe not, but I'm trying. Xstart, xend. Yeah, I think at this point, I can just cast to int. So xstart, ystart, xend, int, yend. There. So great. I think that's all I should need to do to get some basic rendering work. Let's just build to be sure. I haven't written any code to use it yet, but aha, there. Cannot be applied to given types. Oh, I forgot the bytes. That's fine. And then at the end, ABGR, because that's specimen colors. And it's, I still have scale factor in here. Sorry, that'll be my fault. Xend times half width. Be careful, I'm trying to use width and height appropriately. It's important. Okay, good. We're not actually drawing anything yet, but hey. Anyways, let's test this out. Let's draw something. So target, fill rect. I'll say 0.0, 0.0, width of 0.1, 0.1, ARGB. I know. I'll use the laser. Oh, right. Did I delete the laser values yet? I kind of like that color. Whatever color you suggested, wherever you are. Aha! So because I'm lazy, I'm going to copy colors from somewhere else. Anyways, looking for game. Here we are. Whoops. Perfect. And, well, maybe not quite perfect, but close enough. Good. Whoop. Okay, good. Now, with any luck, this should draw something in the middle of the screen. Okay. I still have some stuff left over that I don't care about anymore. Okay, you can be deleted. I don't care about you. I don't care. Go away. Good lord. Thank you. And perfect. We have a square being drawn in the center of the screen. And if I wrote my code correctly, what I should be able to do is something kind of cool. I should be able to resize the window to say, instead of 800 by 600, 800 by 800, and it should correct for aspect. So it should be like, yeah, now it's a perfect square. So yeah, good. And, okay, great. We have a working system. So now I do want to get rid of a whole bunch of this unnecessary stuff because, well, I'm not going to get rid of entity, but I'm going to get rid of some other stuff. So, yeah, blocking object, destroyable object, player, sprite object, all that kind of stuff. I'll leave stars 3D for now. Might as well keep it around. Who knows, maybe I'll need that. And there. So I think, yeah, I think that's all I need to do. So it's great. I think we've successfully done the rendering portion. Yeah, I know, things are going nice and fast now. Well, I credit that to having a plan. Having a plan helps out. Can't do anything with this yet, but that's okay. So, with that, if I go back to my agenda, rendering core engine. Well, really, the core engine is what I have in main right now. So, yeah, I don't... Should I do anything else with this? I honestly think this is pretty much okay as it is. I don't think I need to change anything here. So, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to say this is the core engine. I think that'll work out just fine, at least for starting out. And finally, the exciting part, the spatial tree. This is where the magic happens. This is where we're going to create some awesome scalability in our engine. After I make sure I haven't broken anything somehow. Actually, you know what? Just to be 100% sure I haven't broken anything, I'm going to go here. I'm going to say make clean. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'll just delete everything in the OBJ thing and make again. Just to be 100% sure I haven't, well, you know, just broken anything by deleting everything. I don't think I have, but okay, good. And slash run. All right, excellent. I use the DeLorean dark theme. And yeah, that's it. So why is there a makefile in here again? I guess why not, really. But anyways, now for the spatial acceleration structure, I'm going to try out quad trees. So just because this is a 2D thing, so well, yeah, I think it makes sense. And yeah, and the good thing about quad trees, it scales very well into an octree. So if this works out and I ever want to make this a 3D engine, I can do that pretty easily. So that's another reason why I'd like to try quad trees first. If not, there's a ton of different spatial acceleration structures we can try. So public quad tree. Actually, yeah, that's about right, except it should be public class. There. Public quad tree is going to be the constructor. That's going to be in here. I think I should warn you, I've never actually, for some reason, I've never ended up having to code a spatial acceleration structure from scratch before. So, wait, actually, is that true? Actually, no, I don't know if that's true. I actually think I did end up coding something from scratch for a ray tracer once, but, well, I haven't done it a lot. How about that? So, forgive me if I make some really newbie errors here. I haven't ended up with a lot of situations where I need to write one from scratch. Usually there's either one available or I don't need it. I'm getting some water. So, quad tree. Key feature of quad tree, it's going to have private quad tree children, and it's going to be, well, it's going to be an array, but I'm going to call it nodes, and it's going to be an array of size. I don't think Java lets you specify it, does it? Oh, M nodes because of my convention. It's new quad tree of size 4. There. Should build, should not destroy anything. Perfect. Spatial acceleration structures, things like quad trees, octrees, BSP trees, KD trees, stuff like that. They're just trees that allow you to organize your scene. They allow any code that operates in space, like game code, physics code, rendering code, stuff like that, it allows you to run it a lot faster. Oh yes, of course. And I might as well go ahead and push this to GitHub. So yeah. Message, cleaned up code, sure. That's about what I did. And, passwords. Well, like I said, there's a ton of different tree structures out there, and they all have different strengths and weaknesses. So, yeah, I'm sure there's something great about interval trees, but, well, I don't know. I've never ended up encountering them before. But anyways, I'm doing something with quad trees. Right. I'm trying to create them. So, oh right. Constructor's a method, so I probably need like that. Yeah, that's good. Now, here's the thing about this. I'm going to be storing entities. And honestly, I think, strangely enough, I think I can use my entity class as is without any changes. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. So, it has its nodes, and every node, for now, I'm just going to have one entity. I'm going to put it below the nodes. So private entity, entity, sure. And start off equal to null. So there. And actually, how about this? If you create a quad tree, you have to create it with some entity. I think that will make a little bit more sense when I, end up doing it like this. Okay, good. And also, other than that, other than just an entity thing, I'm going to also need bounds. I need to know how big this quad tree is. Okay. What I'm going to do here, other than entity, I'm going to have bounds. So private. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't have actually an AABB class yet, so let's actually do that first. Just because I'm going to be using it for the quad tree. So AABB.java, sure. It's probably going to end up being a blatant ripoff of my AABB class that I have in my C++ engine, but oh well. I'm not afraid of code reuse. So, AABB. Only one in 2 dimensions right now, though. So, private float mx, or mminx. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with vectors in this case. So, private float mmin, private float mmaxx, private float mmaxy. There we go. No, I am still a college student, in case you're curious. And yeah, I'm going to take these in parameters. Basically, this is the monkey work. Yeah, lots of fun. But I'm okay with this, because this is going to be pretty cool when I'm done with this. Or at least, I'm convinced it will be. Basically, it's going to be all the different assignment things that you expect. There we go. Much better. ABB. And you know what? I'm not going to do it as advanced as I did in the physics engine series. All I care about here, do they intersect? So public Boolean intersects AABB, sure. Just to clarify, in case I want to add more colliders later. I'm going to take in some AABB other. And what am I going to do with this? Actually, I want getters. Public float get min x. Okay. Yeah, gotta write all the getters. Expect some people might be taking breaks right now, but that's okay. Anyways, now with all that out of the way, intersect AABB, which again I plan to blatantly rip off from my other repository. So, there we go. 3D Engine CPP, source, physics, AABB.cpp. There we go. Blatant ripoff. And hopefully this actually works this time. It didn't work last time I tried to rip it off, probably because I just made some silly error when I was rushing, but hopefully it works this time. And yeah, don't care about you. Yeah, don't care about you. Actually, I think there's actually a faster way to do this if you only care about this, but oh well, I don't care right now. So, oh dear. Distances. Okay, you move over. That's gonna bother me. I only care about the Boolean, so return max distance less than 0, sure. And what else? What else? What else? Okay, max distance less than 0 is just fine. Vector 3f distance and stuff. Okay. Now, I get the sneaking suspicion that I'm going to end up screwing it up like I did before. So in fact, I'm going to copy it from my other repository. I'm going to copy it from, where is it? Experiments, which has VM game, and here this has where I did that with Lua. I believe it was not an entity, okay. Rect object, of course. And okay. Okay, that's good. So I just, whoop, wrong tab. Copy this. I'll leave this commented out in case I want to do stuff with it later. Great. Return true, return false. And Lua has slightly different, okay, quite different syntax than Java, so yeah, I'm just going to need to write this all out. Yeah, I think might as well show all this stuff on screen, why not? But not that I have much of a choice, it's a live stream. But, you know, I could have done it before the stream or something. Said, yeah, here's the nice big finished product, but where's the fun in that? The whole point of this is to, well, you know, to show you the development of something from scratch on screen. And, yeah. So x1 is going to be, yeah, min, so anything with x1 is going to be like that. So, okay. And I believe I need to just need to replace x2 with other.get, so other.get max x. Yeah, that should be good to go, pretty much. I'll test it, of course, don't worry. Get min y. Whoop. No, kind of wish I did end up having yeah, kind of wish I did create an AABB class in the live stream, just because, oh, I forgot to bring you back. Whoops. Comments, return to me. There we go, much better. I could use a rectangle class, but then I couldn't really expand it later. I would be stuck with whatever Java's using. So I'm using AABB for now. Also, especially, I couldn't really easily expand the rectangle into 3 dimensions. So that's really a big reason why I'm not using the rectangle class. Anyways, I'm doing something. Right, quadri. Oh, wait, no. Testing first. Gotta test. Private something. AABB stands for Access Aligned Bounding Box. Okay, so I'm going to have AABB test 1. In fact, screw that. I'm not even going to do it like that. I'm going to do it just in here. It doesn't matter where I test it. Just need to test it somewhere. Test 1, do AABB. Going to put something in there in a moment. And test 2. Actually, even better. I have a better idea. Entity, where are you? Right. Now, for you, what I need is... Okay, I'm going to change entity class a little bit. I'm going to change entity so it basically is based on AABB. And this... Yeah, it's going to require some slight changes. So, goodbye, sphere liner sec nonsense. Don't need you for the time being. Update render stuff. Sure, I need you for the time being, but not for long. And yeah, it's a constructor. Okay, I will need xy, but constructor going to take in pretty much what I have in AABB. Min x, float. Min y, float. Float max x, float max y. And I'm going to have, other than private float x and y, I'm going to have private float, private AABB, m AABB. Or, yeah, sure, I'll put it in lowercase just so it doesn't look strange. And take a wild guess how I'm going to do this. Yeah, AABB, new AABB, min x, min y, max x, max y, sure. For x, actually, it makes it really easy to get x and y. I can say min x plus max x divided by 2. So that's nice. Very simple. And I can do the same thing for y. So I'm just going to copy and change. Perfect. Meet the new entity class, folks. Well, with this, I think I've done everything I need to do here, other than, well, okay, I guess I can have public Boolean AABB intersect. Well, I'll say intersect AABB, entity other. And this is going to return, take a wild guess, other.getAABB. Oh, I don't have getter for it yet. I'll fix that in a moment. Intersect AABB. I better have called it intersect AABB, not intersect. Dagnabbit. Okay. Well, oh well. Could be worse. So MAABB can be that. Set AABB. I don't know if I want to let them set the AABB, but I'll keep it around for now. And okay, yeah, I'll line these because it's going to bother me. And with that, I think I've finally gotten through everything that bothers me. I can finally test the code. So let's create entities. Actually, wait. Okay, in fairness, I don't need entities right this instant. But still, it's going to be useful very shortly once I do quadries. The whole point of this anyway is just to test it, so test 1. Yeah. Test 1, test 2. What am I going to do? Start off with -1, -1, 1, 1, just because it's something very easy. And you're going to be -3, -3, -1, -1. Because if my code is correct, actually I'll start with -2, -2. Because this is a case that should obviously work. I'll just print out test1 dot intersect test2. Perfect. And it crashes. Oh, right, because that's not a float anymore. Takes in, or returns AABB. Alright, now will you work? False. Good. They should not be intersecting. Now, where are you? Main. Game. There you are. Now, if I extend it to -1, -1, that should still not intersect. Good. Extend it to -0. Sure, why not? 1. That should, wait, still should intersect. Yeah. Still not intersecting. -0, -0 should intersect. Excellent. AABB intersect function is working. So with that, I believe all I have to do is just, well, comment this out because I don't need it anymore, and edit the, actually while I'm at it, target.clear to byte 0x there, because that bothers me. There we go, much better. Now it's a black background. Doesn't particularly matter, but it was bothering me, like many other things. Anyways, private AABB, MAABB, And yeah, so actually that's a good point. I should start out by taking in some AABB, just because, well, just to give them some way of specifying the initial AABB. And I believe that just needs to sign that to AABB and I'm done. Okay, great. Finally. With that, I believe, whoops, sorry about that. All I have to do is add a function to add something to the quadtree, and I should be able to at least add it. Actually, it would be kind of nice if I had a way to debug this, wouldn't it? Oh well. I'll worry about that once I've added things. So, public void add entity. And here's what this is going to do. Now, it can't store it in this quadtree because mEntity is already something. Oh, speaking of, it should probably have public void get entity. Turn entity. Something like that. Well, no. I'll leave that in case I need it. Anyways, add. We're taking in some entity. Now, quadtrees are recursive, so this is going to be interesting. Now, mnode sub I doesn't necessarily exist. So, what I'm going to do here, first off, test if it's in this quadtree. So, if mEntity.getAABB intersect mAABB, sure. So if they're intersecting, then what? And if they're not intersecting, we need to do something else. So if they are intersecting, I should handle. Okay. If they are intersecting, in that case, then. Hang on a second. I'm trying to deal with a few problems at once. Now, the thing I'm worried about right here is, what if the entity is not inside the quadtree? Because if it's not in the quadtree, then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change this quadtree so that, well, I have to sort of expand it out until it actually fits in the quadtree. So if it's not in the quadtree, for now I'm just going to say system.error.println error ABB not in quadtree, and there. And exit. Good. Well, not good. Well, not good. I'm going to have to go back to it. But when they do intersect, okay. Now this shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. Hopefully it won't be that hard. So at this point, we have confirmed it is in the quadtree. So at this point, we have private void add child entity. There. And the reason we do it like this is because it's going to recurse slightly differently. So yeah, at least I'm pretty sure it will, unless I've missed something. Recursion can get a little bit complicated, but it's worth it in the end. So the entity, wait, no. I'm adding to one of the children. I know that at this point. It is being added to one of the children, but I don't know which one just yet. So, how do I determine that? Well, Paul, the quadtree can only have 4 children just based on, well, the way it works. So, fortunately, we don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, this could get really painful. But yeah. Oh, you mean entities? Sorry about that. For entities, for now, I'm just going to have one entity as a child. I'll worry about expanding that out if I need to later. Anyways, now the tricky thing here is that if I can, I'd like to have a sparse quadtree, so it doesn't have any extra nodes that aren't actually being used to store something. So that's why things are going to be a little tricky. And anyways, I'm supposed to be doing something, and I keep getting distracted. So if it's in here, what I need to do ultimately is have AABBs. One AABB for each section. And if the entity... I just got an idea. I'm going to go to YouTube. Well, not license, but there is a license if you are curious about what my license is for this. I'm going to go here. Public static boolean rect intersect. And it's going to pretty much be what my AABB intersect function is. And the reason here I'm concerned here is because I don't want to create an AABB object unless I actually need to. So, yeah. Actually, probably there's an even better way to do this. What I'm going to have is I'm going to get... Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. It's on GitHub if I need it again. Yes, I am making a game engine for fast development. Unfortunately, the game engine development itself may not be very fast, but hopefully it'll be fast once I'm done. So public boolean intersect rect. Okay. I'm going to take in some float min x, float min y, float max x, float max y. There's just some way to do the intersect check without creating an AABB object for every single intersect, because I foresee that becoming a slight problem. And also, it allows me to reuse this, so I mean, it doesn't like hurt the code base or anything. So again, I don't really see a good reason not to. Less than max x, so replace u, max y, yeah, replace u, min x, replace u, min y, replace u. Perfect. Now, for this, I can just return intersect rect. Yeah, it's probably best to avoid code duplication. Other.get min x, other.get min y, other.get max x, and other.get max y. There. Hopefully I can build not destroy anything. It's not going to work, but hopefully I can build without destroying anything. Oh, with that. Render context quadtree, there he is. Okay, so with that, now I can actually test this out. So what I really need here is I need to do 4 intersect checks. One's going to be for the top left corner. So for that, all I should need to do is take float min x, float min y. Yeah, I'll just write it out first, because I've done it so many times before. Max x and float max y. And what I'm going to do here for minimum x, well, I'm going to start with MAABB get min x. So everything's going to start with our current big, giant, overarching AABB, because we know it's within that somewhere, but we don't know exactly where yet. What? No, min y, thank you. Min y. Max. Oh. From here, I can really just set this to be any one of the 4 corners I want. So I'm going to try the upper left corner first. And to do that, actually, I think what I'm going to need here, no, you know what, I am going to start with this like this, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have float x length, half x length. because I think this will make it a little bit easier to construct the various sides. So that'll be max x minus min x. And yeah, I believe that's it. And float half y length, max y, min y. Sure. Okay, and all right, so half x length, half y length, good. I think. Hang on, did I have 5 minus? No, that'll add up. Okay, never mind, never mind. For a second I thought I did something backwards, but no. Wait a minute, it's supposed to be half. So divided by 2. Okay. Wait, isn't that what I did in entity? Oh no, I'm adding them together and dividing by 2. Because that's an average. Okay, good. That was what was confusing me. Anyways. Half x, half y. And, you know, that's actually good advice. Wikipedia has some pretty good code for this, so I should probably just blatantly rip off Wikipedia if I can ever. Wrong web browser. Thank you. If it ever loads, that is. How about that? Thank you. Okay, so let's play the game of rip off Wikipedia, because yeah. ABB, that's just fine. Insert X. Well, that's going to be slightly different because X that's just inserting a point, not another object, but okay. Yeah, I've already done that check. If there is space, right? I'm not doing that just yet, but I will. And in my situation, northwest, northeast, etc., don't exist. So I'm going to be trying sort of, because I'm doing a sort of sparse thing. So yeah. But I am at this point. So northwest, starting that's, let's see, that's in the upper left. So if this is min, this is max. I need to add half width to min x. So sure, I'll say min x equals min x plus half x length. Right, I said wide. Good job, Benny. Plus half y length, there. Okay, so this is the minimum y. Just need to add that. Okay, good. That'll put the y back to where I want it to. Max y should stay the same. Max x needs to be slightly smaller. So max x equals max x minus half x length. And I believe max y stays the same, min x needs to stay the same, and that will get me the northwest corner. So good. All I have to do now, is do that new AABB check thing. I intersect rect. That's what I'm looking for. That I did earlier. So yeah, entity dot. Talking about this takes more time. This is why I'm doing it up front. I'm doing an engine the proper way, so I don't need to do this when I'm actually doing Ludum Dare. Good. Intersect rect. And I'm going to be intersecting min x, min y, max x, max y. Good. All right, perfect. If this, then something. Okay, so if it's intersecting, then good. It's in the upper left corner. So all I have to do now, check if it's null. So if mnodes sub 0 is null, then mnodes sub 0 is new something or other. Quadri, there you go. Good. Min x, min y, max x, max y, etc., etc. And then I can, with a new, with entity and a new AABB of that, which is good. This is what I'm looking for. Right, perfect. Oops, sorry. So I have the new quadri. It's in existence now, and I'll put this on new line. There we go. Just want to break that up a little bit. Otherwise, if it's not null, then I need to recurse, because it is in the upper left corner. So m nodes sub 0 dot, whoops, wrong button, add to child. I'm using add to child because I know it is in the upper left. I've just confirmed that. And that is going to add entity. Perfect. And I'm not going to return here, because the thing is, we need to sort of subdivide this a little bit. So I'm going to need to add it to every node where it's part of it, because this takes up space. So now at this point, just need to do the same sort of thing, except with nodes 1. So nodes 1, nodes 2, nodes 3, nodes 4, etc., etc. Okay, and I believe this is all I need to do. Well, other than actually set the min x and min y and such between each one. That's kind of important. But other than that, I think that's all I need to do to actually do this. So next up is northeast. So northeast is this one over here. So that just requires adding min x and min y by that. So here, min x equals. Why am I doing it like this? Why am I not just saying plus equals and minus equals? Unfortunately, no, I can't do a for loop because I need slightly different changes of min x, max x, and such between each one. So yeah. I'm probably going to move this into a function, though, just because it's slightly. Just makes the code reuse a little bit better. Anyways, min x plus equals half x length. Max x plus equals half x length. Good. Then do it again. And in fact, yeah, I'm going to do this. So private void add to child node, sure. Entity, and it's going to take in. Well, really, it's going to take in min x, min y. Wait, these are floats. Lots of these parameters. Oh well. It's also going to take in some int for node index, for which index it is in the nodes. And it's pretty much going to be this function. So for this, try to add the child node there, because it's an if statement thing. If statement, node sub node index, good. It's equal to null, then do that. Otherwise, this, good. So I can do it like this. I think. Try add child node, entity, min x, min y, max x, max y, 1. Hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think I just need to do this for every single one. Min x, min y, max x, max y, 0. There. And same thing for 2 and 3. And I believe that'll actually do everything I need. Perfect. Almost. Just need to do the min x, or the min and max adjustments again. So now Wikipedia suggests southwest, southeast. I'm going to use Wikipedia's suggestions. So southwest would be min x minus half x length, and max x plus half x length. Well, you know what? I can actually save a bit by doing, not 4, 3. And actually just do this a little bit easier by doing this first. So you will go right here, in between them. And here's... Now here, the only difference between this is min y minus equals half y length, max y minus equals half y length. Good. All right, and I think this is all I need to do for add to child stuff. So yeah, I think this function should work. I really hope I don't accidentally do some infinite recursion nonsense. But I do think it should work. Yeah, well, I guess all I can do now is try it out. Now the real question at this point is, now that I have something that can add something to a quad tree, how on earth am I supposed to, well, how am I supposed to actually... trying to think of something here. How am I supposed to display it? How am I supposed to display the quad tree? So, I know, I'll just make a print function. So public void print. So what I'm going to do here. Oh, and I'll have int depth. So this will be the private version. Public void print is going to call print is going to just do this, or it's going to call print with a depth of 0. Here's what I'm going to do. For I'm going to have a string prefix. Start off equal to nothing. I'm just going to do this the lazy way. I is 0. I is less than depth. I plus plus. Prefix plus equals something. I'll say dash. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say system.out println prefix and plus entity. Sure. I don't know if Java will actually do the automatic conversion to string here, but I'll find out, I suppose. Does it? I'm curious. No. Oh, semicolon. Right. It does, interestingly enough. Okay. Okay, good. Prefix space entity. Is that all? Oh yeah, and I need to do this recursively, so I'm going to call this for my children, or all the children. So yeah, and then for I equals 0, I is less than 4, print depth plus 1. Wait. No. M nodes sub I dot print depth plus 1. Okay, good. Now this, unless I've really screwed something up, this should print everything out. So in fact, let's just go ahead and start creating stuff. So game, entity test1. Fortunately, it has the exact same parameters as an AABB, so it should be reasonably easy to test this. View build, test1. All right, it builds. It passed the first test. I'm going to have some quad tree, new quad tree, test1, new AABB. I'm just going to do something totally ridiculous. 100. There. And then tree.print. There. So this is how I'm going to make sure everything works. Oh, I'm missing a parentheses. There. And it crashes. All right, because it can be null. All right, I forgot about that. That was my fault. If imnode sub I is not equal to null. There. How about that? Okay, it has exactly one entity. Well, that's sort of what I'd expect. But I haven't used the mighty add function just yet, so this could be interesting. And where is it? Game. There we are. Entity test2. Sure, I'll just use the parameters I had for the other one. -3 and just tree add test2, I think. Hopefully this works. Okay. But it doesn't have. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the print function so it takes in not only a depth, but string sure. Location, sure. Why not? 0, northwest. And that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do prefix means I'm going to prefix that plus location plus there. And then I'm going to do this 4 times. I think I'm going to have to do that manually, though, because I don't have. I suppose I could create an array, but I'm lazy. And after this, I think I'll post it on GitHub, but yeah. Print nodes of I, depth +1, northwest. Nodes of 0. There. Oh yeah, it'll be on my YouTube page later, so you can watch it whenever you please. You won't get all the interactivity, but, you know, it's there. So northeast, southwest, southeast. There. If it added it to the southwest, which I believe is correct. That's where it should be. So quad tree, or game, let's add another entity. So this one's going to be, I'm going to sort of reverse it. It's going to start at 0, 0, and go to 3, 3. Whoop. Oh, test 3. And I'm going to add, in fact, yeah, why am I doing it like this? I'll just create them as I add them. Not like I'm using them for anything else. It's test code, after all. Okay, northeast, exactly where it should be added. Right now, something on the border. Yeah, something on the border, I'm pretty sure should, well, just not, I shouldn't say not, but I don't think it should be added to 2 of them. That's what I'm trying to go for. So, in fact, this one I'm going to change a bit. So it starts -3, positive, wait. hang on. Starts at 0, 0. Negative 3 on x, 0 on y. Positive 3 on x. 0 on x. Positive 3 on y. There. I think I might have actually done this wrong, but no, it worked. Northwest. That's what I was going for. And other than that, northwest. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add something kind of like what I had before. So this is going to be negative 1, negative 1, positive 1, positive 1. So this is going to be sort of like the original. This should be added to all of them. Yeah, there we go. So entity 359AB added to every single one. Good. That's exactly what I'm going for here, because, well, if an entity is not, if an entity crosses the border, and I need to check, hang on, let me put it this way. If I'm using an algorithm that traverses the quadtree, and it's only checking one node, it needs to know about everything that is in that node. And this object is at least partially within several nodes, so I need it in every node in case it's, well, you know, in case I'm doing something like that. And yeah, so I think it's safe to say this is working as I like it. So I can add stuff, but I can't do anything with it just yet. That's the next step. Let me get someone to drink. Okay, so fortunately, my adding code worked on the first try, which is amazing. Wouldn't be surprised if there's like some, you know, something that's not quite there, but yeah. Query range. Huh. Guess that could work. Okay. In fact, that's actually kind of what I want to do. I want it sort of a query range function, because that'll be useful for Frestum calling. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm going for. I'm looking for a query range. And is that all? Insertion, insert subdivide, query range. Yeah, I'm looking for that. So, what does it return? Oh, right, this is sort of like pseudocode, so it doesn't have something like that. So I guess we need to return an array list. Okay, quadtree. Hello, Tomahawk. Welcome to the stream. Okay, query range. Good. Void the range AABB. Sure. So this function is going to try to find every single object, every entity that happens to fall within this range. So first off, I'm going to need to do this basic check. I need to check if... Actually, I'll just copy Wikipedia. Wikipedia has a working function. Yeah. First off, I need to make sure it's actually in here, so... Oh. Hang on. Before I even do that, import java.util.array. I'm going to be using ArrayList for the return, or the result of this. So it's going to return an ArrayList of entity, everything that intersects a certain range. And the way this is going to work, well, Wikipedia, pretty much. That's my strategy here. So, nope. ArrayList of entity, I'm going to call it result. Actually, should I even do that? Maybe. No, I actually think this is okay. Okay. This will be fine for now. I'll see what I can do. So I got the result. Now I need to make sure it's actually intersects this, so yeah. Yeah, this check, which is what I was going to do a while ago, but got distracted, as usual. It wouldn't be me if I didn't get distracted by stuff. So actually, if not, then yeah. How about this? AABB not in quadri. And I'll exit 1. Because this shouldn't happen. This is a programmer error. Anyways. Or I could just return. Or null, but... Yeah, okay, I should probably return null. That's probably the more correct thing to do here. Then I'll create the result, and then I'll do the recursive check. So you're going through everything. Pretty much if, at this point, if the entity... Oh, right. I shouldn't be using the entity's AABB here for the initial check of add. I should be using the quad tree's AABB. So yeah, that could have been a nasty... Oh. I should be using entity.getAABB, not mEntity here. So yeah, that could have been a nasty bug, but fortunately... Yeah, fortunately I caught it right now. Anyways. Intersect. I was doing something here before I got distracted with that. Right. If this quad tree's entity is intersecting that, the not MAABB, but the other AABB, something should happen. And that is result.add mEntity. Perfect. And yeah, I think at this point, I just need to sort of recurse that through everything. Okay, so yeah, so if mNodes, in fact, yeah, I'm going to have some sort of child functions in this, so private array list entity query range internal, sure. And it's going to take in some array list of entity result. Okay, yeah, so got the query range internal function, gonna need to go through all the nodes, and pretty much, if they're not null, in fact, why don't you just go ahead and do that? I0, I is less than 4, if mNodes by is not null. How about this? If it is null, why not? It works fine either way. If it's not null, then I need to perform the check. So, actually, I'm just doing this, and then I'm going through all the children and calling the function. So, query range internal AABB result. And then I'm returning result. I think that's all I need to do. I could be wrong. Be very wrong, but I think that's all I need to do. Let me double check. So I'm checking if this object entity is intersecting the AABB, and if it is, I'm adding to the result. Good. Then I'm going through all the children, and I'm running query range. Oh, silly me. Silly me. So really, I just need to do this, except... In fact... Yeah, if not that, then just return result. So this is the key here. If it's not intersecting my current AABB, then I can just return the result. Why? Because, well, if it's not intersecting this, it can't possibly be intersecting any of the children. The only downside to this is it will have duplicates, so... Hmm. You know, maybe I shouldn't have had that duplicates thing. Or should I? You know, now I should. It's just now the result might have duplicates. Wonder if there's a quick way to determine if it can. Nah. All right. Hmm. Well, if I do a contains check every iteration, that's just going to be a giant pain because then I wonder, is there a fast algorithm for removing duplicates from an array? How about this? Hopefully this doesn't give me something totally unrelated to programming. Sure. Is there an easy answer to this? Oh, that is a clever way of doing it. Okay. Okay. All right, suppose that works. That said, I should probably, right here, not return null. Should probably just return result. Hmm. Hey, so at this point, I don't think I need to do this. I think I just need to query range internal with the AABB and the result. Okay, good. In fairness, I'm probably going a little slower here than I need to, but, well, I guess I'm a little shaken up from my recursion code epically failing last time. So, yeah. Yeah. Right. Query range internal. If it doesn't add good. Good. Hmm. In fact, I don't care about ordering at all, so why am I not just returning a set? Is there is there some particular reason why you can't? In fact, yeah, I think I might do that. I think I might just return a set. So I don't believe Java's array list does that. Especially since, oh, okay. For a second I thought he was using an array list, but no, I don't. I think array lists do allow duplicates. But yeah, I believe that's all I have to do to get this thing working. So, oh, and of course it's a set, not an array list at this point. There, yeah. So I'm just going to use a set instead because that doesn't allow duplicates. So nope, I have no good reason not to. And I think, unless I missed something on Wikipedia, no, yeah, I think that's all I need to do to query range internal. Set is abstract, cannot. Okay. Maybe I'll use a hash set then. How about that? Cannot find. How about that? Okay, how about this? Java.util.stem, no, .star. Import everything. 8, missing return statement. Return result. There. Hmm. Yes, I am, Kenny. I'm trying to make an array list that doesn't hold duplicates. Okay. It's not crashing. Good. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think in my example code, yeah, everything should intersect -1, 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use what am I looking for? I won't print out the tree anymore. But what I will have is I will have Java util star good, a set of entity that I'm going to call sure test set equal tree dot query range new AAB. Wait a minute, is that public? No, good. I made it private. The internal function is private. Good. Now, in fact, start out with I should say -100, 100, 100, 100. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm using the same range I used for the initial quad tree. So this way, this should just have everything in the set. To iterate over it, I'm just going to copy you. Because I'm lazy like that. And oh dear, did you introduce a bunch of spaces into my code where I wanted tabs? No, you didn't. Thank you. I really dislike it when internet code does that, but oh well. Test set, iterate. There. Well, you could do that, Kenny, but that would be very slow. You'd have to do that for every single object you add. So if you go for the array list for every object you add, that's not good for performance. And I have a slight problem. Okay. I'm going to take a wild guess and say I have infinite recursion somewhere. I don't think that's what sets do. At least not hash set. Hash set does it with a hash, kind of like a hash map does. So it doesn't have to do that. And well, there's lots of information about how that works on the internet if you're interested. Query range internal not working because I didn't use im nodes sub I, not 9, I dot query range internal. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. I think this will just work as it is. Okay. I noticed I'm seeing 4 entities, all of which are unique, which is a good sign, because I added 4 entities, all of which are unique. All right. So if I narrow the range to -1, -1, I think that'll actually still encapsulate everything. Everything, yeah, still touches the center in some way. But if I do -2, -2, 0, 0, that's still encapsulate everything? No. Okay. So, good. I think this is still working. I think this is working. Well, wonderful. So we have our acceleration structure in place. We have our core engine. We have our basic rendering system. I don't know about you, but I think I've done everything I wanted to do in this video. Except I still haven't pushed it to GitHub. Heck nabbit. Sorry about that. And what should my command be? Okay. Included quad trees. Sure. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Oh, good. But when it is using dot equals to determine if the objects are equal. The hash is for storage. You can think of it like, okay, think of it like a big giant array, and it's using the hash as the index in the array. That's sort of how it's working. That's not exactly how it's working, but that's the general idea. Again, there's a lot of information about that on the internet, about hash tables and whatnot. Because, yeah. So, folks, I think that's just about all I'm going to do in this video. I've got my spatial acceleration structure working. I've got my basic rendering system working. So, yeah. And in the next video, or in the next live stream, I should say, because I'm planning to live stream all this, I'm going to start setting up my whole scene graph thing to work with the quad tree so that we can use quad trees to do things ludicrously fast. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you then, everyone.